Dr. Wallace was supposed to join us, but Zoom.
Oh well.
It is what it is.
Move on.
Moving on. All right, we'll call this meeting to order, and we are at the June 23rd Scott County Fiscal Court Business Meeting.
Yeah.
And we are
I
grateful
don't think it's.
for
Is it working either?
attendance.
Push the button.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
I'd like
That's it.
to
You can turn
ask
it on and off.
everyone to join me in the pledge of allegiance. Would our new corner lead us in the pledge? All right. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mark, you got me ready.
I told you what.
You got me ready. Stacy, would you do us a favor and call the roll, please?
Mr. Hostetler?
Present.
Mr. Lyons?
Here.
Mr. Wallace? Mr. Corman?
Present.
Mr. Ellison?
Here.
Mr. Livingston?
Here.
Judge Covington?
Present.
Mr. Marshall? Did I say Mr. Marshall or Culbertson?
I'm going with either one.
I marked Culbertson out. Sorry about that.
Thank you all. Next item is consideration of our minutes from our last meeting.
Motion.
Motion from David Livingston. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Kelly Corman. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 5 on our agenda, transfers as presented.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion from Mr. David Livingston. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Ellison. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 6 on our agenda is bills and hand checks. Any questions or comments related to those as presented?
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Livingston is on a roll. Second, is there a second? Alvin Lyons with a second. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Number 7 brings us to the second reading of Ordinance 2206, Mallard Point parking of commercial vehicles and overnight parking. Rand, would you review the summary, please?
Yes, well, yeah, I've got the whole thing, I guess, here. Ordinance 22-06, an ordinance prohibiting overnight commercial motor vehicle parking for vehicles Class 4 and above as classified by the Federal Highway Administration on the streets of Mallard Point subdivision. Whereas some citizens of the Mallard Point subdivision have requested that the Scott County Fiscal Court prohibit overnight commercial motor vehicle parking on the streets in the subdivision for vehicles Class 4 and above as classified by the Federal Highway Administration. Whereas the court has considered the request and find that it's in the best interest of the citizens that reside in the subdivision to restrict said parking. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Scott County Fiscal Court as follows. Number 1, no commercial motor vehicle Class 4 and above is classified by the FHWA shall park on any of the streets in the Mallard Point subdivision during the time period from 1/2 hour after sunset to 1/2 hour before sunrise. The FHWA vehicle classification definitions are as follows. Class Group 1, motorcycles. Class Group 2, passenger cars. Group 3, other 2-axle, 4-tire single-unit vehicles. Class 4, buses. Class 5, 2-axle, 6-tire single-unit trucks. Class 6, 3-axle single-unit trucks. 7, 4 more axle single-unit trucks. Class 8, 4 fewer axle single-trailer trucks. Class 9, 5-axle single-trailer trucks. 10, 6 or more axle single-trailer trucks. Class 11, 5 or fewer axle multi-trailer trucks. Class 12, 6-axle multi-trailer trucks. 13, 7 or more axle multi-trailer trucks. 14, unused. 15, unclassified vehicle. Number 2, appropriate signage shall be erected which prohibits said commercial motor vehicle parking on any of the streets in the subdivision consistent with this ordinance. Number 3, this ordinance may be enforced by the Scott County Sheriff's Office or any other law enforcement agency having jurisdiction. 4, violations of this ordinance shall be punishable by a $25 fine. 5, commercial motor vehicles used in this ordinance shall be defined as set out in KRS 281A.010 sub 8 now exist or may be omitted from time to time. 6, this ordinance shall take effect upon its passage and publication as required by law. First reading was June 10th, adopted tonight, assuming you do, June 23rd, 2022.
Questions or comments?
Clarification, did you say, I forgot to remember, class 4 and above?
Yes, sir.
What was the class 4 just for?
Class 4 is buses.
Motion from Mr. Rick Hostetler. Second from Mr. David Livingston. Any other questions or comments?
One quick question. Did you, I didn't get any feedback on this. Have you?
I had one call from a resident that was concerned. He actually works and has a utility van. And I explained to him the ordinance, sent him the ordinance, and explained that this would not impact him. And I clarified it with him, and after I clarified it, he appreciated me calling him back, and that was the only call I had. Now, what was shared with me by Bruce Cones is that they had shared this via social media and their email distribution list. So, they shared that as well. So any other questions or comments? With that said, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. I'd like to call Chief John Ward, to the podium. John has a fire department travel request. Oh, I skipped one, John. You stay there because I'm sorry. Number 8, we're going to table, and we will return at our next official business meeting to take that up, but we're just not ready for that. Number 9, project change order soccer complex. This change order that I shared with you encompasses really 3 different pieces. One is for revised grades at park entry, and that description was shared. And then remediation of a sinkhole uncovered on site, and then over-excavation of access drive to building site, building project provided for installation of rock access drive to the building site through the parking lot, and site project is determined leaving the access drive in place and building the new asphalt drive over top the construction drive would help create a very stable base. So that's the reasoning for that. This totals $27,586, and would try to answer any questions that anyone has. Is there a motion to accept? Motion from Mr. Lyons, second by Kelly Corman. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I will say, as I shared in the email, that there have been some requests for changes to the sanitary sewer, configuration, and there's going to be there's going to be one additional change order that comes with that, and that was following along recommendations from the Division of Water and Georgetown Municipal Water and Sewer Service. So when I get that, I'll share. I didn't want you to be surprised. John, if you could talk to us now about fire department travel request.
Thank you, Judge, Magistrates. With approval of the upcoming budget for a new engine, new ladder truck, we've got, get together and write the specs that we need to set out for bid for both those pieces of apparatus. What we're looking to do is go to Wisconsin to one of the factories to be able to walk through that factory, because as you walk through, and they're in different phases of the process of building apparatus, whether it be an engine or an aerial, it'll give us some better insight on new technology or new ideas that could be out there that we're not aware of. It will help us in our process of writing the specs for both those pieces of apparatus. But I think the dates we were looking at was July 19th, 20th, and 21st. So basically, we'd fly up there, get up there, go a half a day that day, full day the next day, and then come home the following on the 21st.
You and Chief Canavy.
That's correct, yeah. And I've already worked it out with Battalion Chief Baker, our new training coordinator. He's going to be available for anything, you know, on the off hours. He'll be available to respond and make calls.
I saw a motion. Mr. Hostetler.
Do that, have a permission to do this?
Go out of state.
Gotcha.
Second, Kelly Cornbeach. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you all.
That's good. Now, the next, I'm going to, fire department bid for generators. This bid included the EMS station and stamping ground, 2 fire departments, and the road department, and also the courthouse. It's going to be my recommendation after talking with Chief Ward and staff that the court reject this bid. That's my recommendation. I'd value any feedback from John and any other court member. My recommendation also will be that we rebid the work in the project, but allow, the difference this time would be allow bidders to bid on any and all of the projects, and then also include that we are flexible on a time schedule. I think people are backed up, and people are worried about supplies and supply chain, and I think that would help us. And then Rick, I spoke with Rick, and Rick recommended making some calls to some vendors and making sure they knew of the opportunity. So, John, you have any comments?
No, I follow exactly what you said. I totally agree with that. You know, it came in way more than what we anticipated.
Do we have to do this? Did we see?
It's just one, and
I've got
we can share it with you.
yeah.
Did you call Harbor Freight?
No. I'm moving on. John, if you feel good about that, I feel good about it.
Absolutely, yes.
Any other comments from anyone else except Mr. Livingston?
I just think we need, you know, spend our money wisely, and I think it's our due diligence to go out there again just to see
So,
if we can get more.
so is there a motion essentially to reject the bid that was submitted? So we can do it together? So let's make a motion. I think Alvin's motion is to reject the submitted bid and rebid it with those changes in the language. So there's a motion. Is there a second? Second from Dwayne Ellison. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you all.
Number 12, new business. I've shared a few different drafts of interlocals, related to the affordable housing and homeless intervention coordinator's position, and shared a couple drafts, got some feedback, went and met with the city, with Devin Golden, city attorney. We tried to address those concerns that were in that feedback, and I have shared a draft that I'd like for you all to consider for approval tonight. Are there any questions or comments with the draft as presented?
I have a question, maybe not necessarily with the draft. But I don't know if we've got data or something that shows like what we think our homeless population is. And I wonder if Georgetown Housing Authority would have any information like that they could share with us, or I'm sure they've got a better pulse on this type of, program than we do. And I'd be really curious, like, I'm not opposed to doing it, but wonder if we could help strengthen their program, if they have a need to help homeless people, or if they've already got people in place doing what we're looking to do.
Yeah, I don't think the housing authority has the services that are laid out, but I do think there would be value in collaboration, of course, and we could inquire about if they have any data. But the school system has data about families that are, and the school system's definition goes by a federal definition called McKinney-Vento Act, and that, Dwayne, you got to help me a little bit here. McKinney-Vento is, but the school system definition is a little bit different than, if a student is living with a relative, if a student is couch surfing at a friend's house, those are qualified as homeless according to that McKinney-Vento Act. The definition that you and I traditionally think of, I think, and I don't want to speak for you, Kelly, but somebody that's on the streets that do not have a home.
Right.
Now, Elizabeth Village heads up the K count. They call it the K count that's in February every year. Why they do it in February, I don't know. It's the coldest time of the year. It's very hard to determine. But we can try to get that data, Kelly.
Well, I know that they used to have assistance in the way of, and the only reason I know this, when I worked at the bank, we had a branch over there and we took the payments for them.
Yeah.
So it was based on your income. And I would see people paying $30 a month for
Yeah.
rent or whatever. So I know that they address some of this.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not the students.
Yeah. But no,
not
I'm
like,
sure
the
they.
students, like what,
Well, a lot of the
How
folks
does
with
that-
them would be one step away a lot of times after being home.
And I think what you'll find with the housing authority, it eventually becomes generational. And a lot of folks never leave the housing authority, so they're never really considered homeless. And I don't think that people think of going to the housing authority to actually get shelter or a place to live. And if they don't have a job, if they have no income, then I don't know if the housing authority, or if they have a very low wage that they can't even afford $30 or $40 a month or something like
well,
that.
that's what I'd like to find out.
Yeah.
Because, I think like when you talk about a student, we assume that student's probably got family here, but their family's probably scattered and doesn't have a home, and maybe the housing authority here can help place them to get those 3 kids and parents back in one house.
Yeah. But I think the housing authority, and I need to do some research myself. And it's a little dated, but the available units are very. That's the issue.
You know that?
Not 100%, but
Kelly,
They
that's
typically do not have vacancies.
So I know we typically, and we know there's homeless, but I just wonder if we have some data.
you got, so the problem is we got 3 or 4 to 5 different agencies kind of all scratching at it.
Yeah.
So
But I do believe that this. I'm optimistic that this position and this agreement can help provide some services that are not there now, and help us chase money for affordable housing. Any other questions? Any other comments? Is there a motion to approve the interlocal? I'll make the motion.
I'll second till we have a vote.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
You want a roll call?
Yeah, we probably, it sounds like we probably should, I don't think it's going to be unanimous.
All right. Would you do a roll call, please?
Mr. Hostetler? Mr. Lyons? No. Mr. Ellison?
Let's see, we'll give it a try.
And I skipped, I think. I'm sorry. Kelly
He
Corman?
didn't shave.
It's a no.
Mr. Livingston?
Yes.
Judge Pepperton?
Yes.
Dies.
Well, I will,
Can always come back.
Maybe some more data.
yeah, maybe some more data. With that said, we'll move. Is there a motion to go to executive session?
Motion.
And this is discuss pending litigation.
And,
We got two things?
yeah, we added, it's 1B and 1C,
Okay,
real estate one.
okay. No, I think we can do it under both, for both those reasons, as long as you include it in the motion.
Yeah, I'll make that motion. Second.
Is there a second? All those in favor, please say aye.
They open
I've
their,
been following that a little bit.
they
through
open
some
their
of that
bids next
nonsense.
week.
Is it next week?
Yeah, for their high school. They're projecting 405 a square foot.
We got down here.
Rick makes a motion. Is there a second? Second for Mr. Lyons. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor of coming out of closed session, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're out of closed session. Please let the record reflect that there's no action taken. With that said, other new business, I'm sorry, just some kudos. I'd like to really express my appreciation to JR and Road Department, EMA, and all the first responders. Last Friday, when that storm blew up, there were 30 roads at one time blocked. And within 3 hours, those roads were pushed opened up for travel. And, I've seen our guys out this week in blistering heat, getting all that up. It'll still be another week or so, but JR, fantastic job by you and your team, and then John, y'all were out there as well, and EMA and Sheriff's Department and all our first responders. Just it shows, very good. But thanks very, very much. We do have the county fair going on. A lot of activity out there at Brooking Park and tractor pulls and all types of things going on. So, any court member have any new business or any comment?
Just a quick question. I was wondering how I know we voted on change order in the park there, but how's the progress coming?
They have gotten the block up and getting ready to set the trusses on the building. The grass is really came on. We've been blessed, but it was recommended that we go ahead and spray it for crabgrass because crabgrass was running wild. JR is contracted with Southern States to go out there and spray those 4 fields for crabgrass. And then we need it. Well, JR's in the process of, if we need to, getting some irrigation equipment lined up that we could use. So it's
Fire truck.
It's coming along.
Sunday.
Yeah. Now, yesterday I haven't checked with Ronald. JR, I didn't check with Ronald today, but one side of town got rain yesterday. My side of town, I didn't get any rain to speak of. Yeah, it might not have. But, up on 25 at the county line, it got a good shower. It's just crazy that the storm blew in yesterday, and it was like a dust cloud out of the movie The Mummy. It was pretty awesome and pretty scary. So, any other court member have any questions or comments? Anyone in our audience? With that said, then, is there a motion to adjourn? Huh? Motion. Is there a second? Second from Rick. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. We are adjourned.
I've been driving for 7 hours today.